So, viewers, today I'm here with Mr. Holliston D'Souza in Sunkeri Church, and we're going to talk about a few interesting things which he's going to just tell us. And this is actually coming from the conversation which I had with Mr. Augustine Narona, conversation about the Karwar, and that's where he spoke about Sunkeri Church. So I thought it was very interesting, and we would want to go to the next level and have those conversations, and that's why I'm here at Sunkeri with Father Holliston D'Souza, and he's going to talk about the upcoming events, the community's involvement in the local activities, and more we're going to learn from him. It's about the history we'd want to know, because that's very interesting. It has a history from 1700s. So he's also going to talk about when was this church built. So let's have the conversation with him. So firstly, welcome to my channel, Father Holliston D'Souza. Could you just talk about history about this church?
Sure. I'm appointed here from last 3 years, and I've gone through Sunkeri round visiting the families, hearing from them about the church, and also many Hindus whom I met. They too have a great honor and respect for our church and the people around here. And the surroundings are beautiful around the church. The back of the church there is the river, Kali river, which flows, and a lot of fish, shellfish, and they call the mussels, they call here kobe. They also have the oysters and many other variety of fish you get, and prawns are known in this area. And the people around here, the Hindus, the Christians, the Muslims, live in communion. They have no problem, no fights. They live as brothers and sisters. There is no communal fights or based on faith or anything, but a peaceful community I have seen around from last 2 years. Having gone through the records of the church and also having read even in the Bombay Gazetteer, and with the dialogue with the previous priests who were here, who are still alive, the one who built the church, Father Victor Krasta, having conversation with them and reading the articles that come in the papers and all, I can say these following things regarding the history of this church here. It started with the coming of the Carmelites to Sunkeri. In 1717, the Carmelites were doing missions in Goa, and then the government there was of the Portuguese. Between the Portuguese and the Carmelite missionaries, there arose some crisis. So the Carmelite missionaries moved from Goa to Bijapur, and they settled there, and from there they started doing the missions. In 1717 they sent a priest called John the Baptist Mary, and he came here. There was a very small church like a hut, and he built here the church, and later it seems that he was even ordained a bishop here, and from there he went to his further mission, which is not much clear anywhere, but he was ordained as a bishop. The history mentions it. Later on, this church was abandoned with the entry of Hyder Ali and later with Tipu Sultan. They conquered this place and the church was destroyed. And talk of the people that I have come to know that the church was used as a stable for the horses and where the soldiers were staying. And during that time, the Christians who were here felt threatened and they left. Here there was, before coming of Father John Baptist Mary, the British factory. And the British factory gave a piece of land in the place where today we are. And John the Baptist, he built the church here. And later on it was destroyed, and all the Catholics went different areas, moved away from here to save their lives. Then later on, again after the Tipu Sultan soldiers left this place, they went away. Missionaries again came, Carmelite missionaries, and they sent a priest, Francis Xavier. He came here, got the people together, and slowly with their help, he built a church, which was octagonal in structure. And later on, since the church roofing got damaged in the present century, Father Victor Krasta, with the help of the parishioners, getting them together, thinking about, they demolished the old church. And in the similar structure, they have built this present new church which we see in Sunkeri. So Father Francis Xavier, when he came, the Britishers earlier they had given a gift deed, the land. Later on they gave much more land to Father Francis Xavier, and he invited the Christians to come and settle down. He gave the land. Even many Hindus were given the lands to come and stay nearby, and even some piece of the land was mortgaged because those people or farmers. Going through the books, I can see that land was given on lease on 25 paisa, 75 paisa, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, and these were collected by the priests. In the 20th century, I have some books which prove it, that the priest who gave the land, he collected from the people the charges. Sometimes it was in the form of paddy, whatever they grew in their fields, they gave. And some even gave in money in terms of annas.
Okay.
And this all is recorded and kept. So this church that was built here catered not only to the people who settled around the church, even right from Sadashugar, people came across the river with boats for Sunday masses and for sacraments. Even there are people who have come from Kadra, because it was catering to all the nearby villages where Catholic population was there. Having gone through the records also, I have found that there are some foreigners also baptized in our church. Some foreigners also have got married. So having gone through those records, I saw somewhere some time ago going through the records, because they are in Latin, just passing a baptism of an Ethiopian also. Means I think they were all working in the factories. Maybe they were occupying some post in the British factory. There have also been some Goans who come here for certificates. So this shows even far Kankon, Navelim from Goa, people have come to collect baptism certificates, marriage certificates. So the church was quite helpful even to Goan people. Means this shows that nearby there was no church. So this was the church that was from last 3 centuries was catering to the faith of the many people surrounding here. Later on, our parish of Sunkeri, the Immaculate Conception Church, was slowly divided. Bard began to manage itself. Bard Church, St. Joseph Church was erected. So now we have only the population of Sunkeri as a part of my parish community. And the nearby village, Karwar, which the villagers also come here for the spiritual exercises, mass, sacraments, and for all other needs. In Karwar also we have one chapel dedicated to Christ the King. And there is also on the mountain a cross which was found there.
Which mountain we are talking about?
Here on small mountain is there, they call here Bolyar.
Boyar.
So there is one cross which they say, the parishioners, it is also around 300 years old. So there we have every year on May 3rd, Feast of the Cross. And it is sponsored every year, one family celebrates the feast. And in Karwar, Christ the King, we have on the 2nd or the 1st Tuesday of the month of February, before the Lent season, Feast of the Christ the King. So the small community that gathers around celebrates the feast every year. This is how, through the festivities, through the celebration of the sacraments, through the celebration of the word, and the confessions, changing the lifestyle, living the sinful life and coming to God. This is how the community grows today in the faith. From last 2 years I have got a loving community which is very much concerned about the priest. They have a lot of love for me, and that makes me also love them and serve them with joy. And they are very much devoted people, a lot of love to Our Lady, and they have put their trust in Jesus Christ. So we cater only to our people, because neighboring churches all have today priests, they have sacraments, they have celebrations too. So in 1977, our diocese was formed. Otherwise, we were part of Belgaum diocese. So later on, it was divided, and Karwar diocese is now almost coming near to celebrate the Golden Jubilee. So Karwar diocese was formed in the year 1977. under the leadership of Right Reverend William de Mello, who was our first bishop. Then after his retirement, Bishop Derek Fernandez was appointed, and now we have the Bishop-elect William Dias, who is appointed as a new bishop of our diocese. He is yet to be ordained as a bishop and to take charge. And under his leadership, our diocese will grow into faith, and we'll see the fruits of faith in the coming years. And what I have to say about the Christian community at present, we have every Sunday Mass. Then this Mass is prepared by the people themselves. So they prepare the liturgy, they prepare and the word, the adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. They also meet in their vados, which is a zone divided among the families. So I have 4 vados, 4 zones. It is also looked after by the parish council members who are helping me to run this parish, who are part of this mission. So under their consultation, their guidance, I am able to lead the people in the path of faith. We also have cultural activities every year. September 8th we have for the girl child, the singing competitions. Then we have fancy dress, and the women's league take the lead and organize the thing, which is actively participates in the church activities.
Fantastic to hear that.
We also have a youth group which is also running in the same direction like the women's league. We also have ongoing formations for them, vocational courses, to make them also choose the future well for their education as well as for their career. For the men, we have little activities, not much, and something that I need to do in this parish also to rejuvenate. So this is what I can say with regard to Sunkeri. And month of February I am going to have Feast of the Christ the King, and later we begin the Lent season where we help the people to look into their life, turn to God. Sometimes we run after the money, run after the studies, we run after the food, run after our career, we forget God. So Lent season is the time to put a stop for this running. So the Carmelite priests stayed here, they did the mission. They also try to bring up the people up with regard to their jobs, with regard to whatever possible in those days, because some had jobs in the factories, others were fishermen. They helped them try to find the market, and also they helped in the education. Father Marcus Mendana is the one who built the school that was here. He is seeing the need of the children, that they will need to be educated. So he constructed the school, and with the help of the locals, the Hindus, the Muslims and the Christians. And still today the school is running. Many have got educated and gone, they are working not only in India but outside also.
So do you have any message for your youth?
Today's youth are going more far and far from God because they are caught up with the technology, with the internet, mobile. So I think it would be sound on their part to turn to God. All this technology, internet, everything is needed. They help you to grow. But if you are enslaved by them, that will be the destruction. Because God has put all things in the mind of man, and man has made this internet, this technology, everything that is growing. Man is for man's use. Man can make use of them, but not to be a slave of them. So they are more relationship with the things than with God, than with their parents, than with their friends. I think they need to sometimes keep the mobile, the internet, cut away themselves and enter in real human relationship, talking to each other, spending time in sports. Many of the youth are not seen on the grounds. In our days, we had olden days games. In Halyal, I used to play Gilli Dandu. I used to play the tire competition.
Understood, yeah.
And the marbles. Today, I think this all is disappearing. Today's youth and men have to give importance to their health, enter into physical activities of playing, swimming, going for walk, sightseeing, going for hiking. So I would wish the youth to return to the grounds so that they can have an active future life, and they need to study. They need to ensure themselves a good future, but without abandoning all other activities which build our future. This is what I can say.
All right, Father Hollinson D'Souza, it's been really great to hear about Sunkeri Church, and all the best for all your preachings which you do. And yes, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you also. God bless you.
Bye. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. सो बजे 1, तो अभी सुनकरी चर्च में था, वहाँ पे फादर हॉलिंसन डिसूजा से मिला, उनसे बातें हुई, और उसके बाद मैं मिस्टर नरोला के साथ यहाँ पर आया, जो कि कुरिस है। ये 300 साल पुरानी है क्रॉस। मैं अंदर गया, देखा, एंड अभी फिर जा रहा हूँ। दिस इज़ रियली गुड, 300 years old cross. Anything you would want to add?
Only know through from people what we have heard that it is a 300-year-old ancient cross which was found here, and it has been here, installed here since it was there. Somewhere in the earlier 20th century, the villagers felt like the cross should not be here, kept alone, and they moved it down to Karwar village. They have a chapel there, and they moved it down to Karwar village. But they say at that time when they moved it that year, there was a severe plague, and several people died due to that plague. And then they felt that the cross is saying that no, I have to restore it back in the same place. So they brought it back, and it's installed again back in the same place. And every year on 3rd May, there is a big feast here of the Holy Cross, where a lot of people gather here. They celebrate the Mass, and they have festivities of the Holy Cross on that day. So that is about the Holy Cross at Karwar.
Thank you. So that's the story. I wasn't aware. It was just like I had a conversation with father, and that's where he spoke about it. And I came here, देखा ये, अच्छा लगा, अब जा रहा हूँ. But very good experience altogether. I'm enjoying this church cross, and I'll just show you the drone view of the church, Sunkeri Church.